keep getting interrupted here. All right. Think subtraction. Now, factors of 12. 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Think subtraction. Now, only way to get x squared is x and x, so that's good. Okay, think subtraction. Which one of these are going to subtract to get you 4? Well, that's going to be 2 and 6, but now you have to be careful with your signs. I want to get a -4. So does the 2 need to be negative or does the 6 need to be negative? Well, that would be the 6. Now, if you don't believe me, and I always say check anyway, this is a positive 2x, this is a -6. Does that add to -4? Yes, it does. Okay, so I'm going to go down to number 16. Look for a greatest common factor there. Unfortunately, there is none. Okay, so no greatest common factor there. Factors of 10. 1 and 10, 2 and 5. Okay, factors of 21, 1 and 21, 3 and 7. Generally speaking, it's usually the ones that are closer together. Now, unfortunately, we have a lot to check here. We have to check 2 and 5, and then if those don't work with 3 and 7, then we have to check 7 and 3, and then we have to check 1 and 21, and then 21 and 1. Okay, you'll start catching on that these ones get you really big numbers really fast, so chances are you're not going to use that. We're going to try the 2x and the 5x, okay? So 2x, 5x. We have to draw in our loops, okay? Now, I'm not going to put in my signs yet because this means we need to think subtraction. So we need one sign of each. So remember to think subtraction, okay? Now, we can't really just automatically assume what it is because these numbers out in front. So let's try the 3 and the 7. So I'm going to put the 3 here and the 7 here. Remember, if that doesn't work, we have to try the 7 and the 3 because they're going to multiply differently. 3 times 5x is 15x, and that is 14x. Now, think subtraction. Can I subtract to get 29 in there? Yeah, no. Okay. You could add to get 29, but you have to think subtraction. So that's not going to work. So we're going to try moving the 7 and the 3 around. So 7 and 3, and then I'm going to erase these. 7 times 5 is 35, and then that would be 6. Does that subtract to get you 29? Sure does. Now, if I want a positive 29, I'm going to need a positive 35. So that plus sign goes back here so that way that makes that plus. And I'm going to need a negative 6x, so that goes back over here to that one. Okay? The only way you're going to get good at these is to keep practicing. Now, there's lots of videos online that explain it probably better than I do. But if you want me to keep explaining it to you, that's perfectly fine. Let's look at 22. Now, always look for the greatest common factor. I see that I can take out a 2. That's going to make my life so much easier. Half of 56 is 25 plus 3, so 28. Okay. Now, all we have to do is factor this part. Factors of 28, 1 and 28, 2 and 14. What else? 4 and 7, maybe? Yep, and that should take care of them. Okay, now you look here. That's a minus sign, so you have to think subtraction. So I'm subtracting. There's no number out in front of here now, so that's really exciting because then it makes it so much easier. 2 sets of parentheses, x and x. Okay, you know you need to think subtraction. You also know you need one of each sign. Okay, you don't have to put it in yet. Think subtraction. Which one of these is going to subtract to get me 3? 4 and 7. So I'm going to put the 7 and the 4 in. Now remember, I want a -3. So does the 7 need to be negative or does the 4? Well, I want a -7 and a +4. Now you can always check. That's -7. That's +4. That gets me a -3. This 2 comes along for the ride. It is good to go. Okay. This is the hardest worksheet probably that you'll do. Okay. That's why we're going to practice this a few times.